Hello friends and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're going to make chocolate brownie cookies. So everything you see on my counter is what we're going to use to make the cookie base, the ganache topping, and then there's the candies that go on top of that. So go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees because these are going to bake for 12 minutes per batch. We're going to start off with 1 1/4 cups of flour in a large bowl. Now to this, we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. Once you get this all in your bowl, you want to take a whisk and mix this up. We want to make sure everything is completely incorporated, the flour, the cocoa powder, especially the salt. We don't want the salt lingering in one place or whatever, and by the time you get these all mixed up, it won't linger, but you want to make sure to start with you've already gotten this really mixed through, so it's easier when you put your wet ingredients with it to mix it together. So now we're going to move to our wet. We are starting out in a large bowl with 1/2 cup of butter, which has been softened. And then to this, we're adding 1/3 cup of sugar. And we're going to take our mixer and we're going to beat this for a couple minutes to make sure that it's light and fluffy before we add anything else to this. So make sure you move the mixer around the bowl a bit so you can get the stuff that's stuck to the bottom or the sides. Once you get this completely mixed in, you're going to add 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. So you can go ahead and dump this in as you're mixing, as long as you make sure you steer clear of the beaters, and then continue to go because you want to break this up and mix it into the wet ingredients. You don't want to add anything else until this is completely mixed through. You don't want any of the dry hanging around the sides or the bottom of your bowl. Now as you're going, this should get a little frothy and really look fluffy looking. That's what you're going for. And once you get this completely mixed, we're going to add in 1 large egg. Make sure that gets broken up and mixed through completely before you add the next ingredient. Then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then 2 tablespoons of honey. Now you have a choice. You can use the honey or you could use corn syrup, because if you have light corn syrup you can substitute that. I just chose to go with the honey. I had it on hand and I thought it would be really good, and it tasted good in a cookie. So that's 2 tablespoons of honey. And after that is dripped in completely, then you want to go ahead and mix this until it is completely mixed through, because with the honey, you have to really work it to mix it in with the rest of your wet mixture. So I give this about a minute to get it completely done. And then we're going to move on to adding our dry ingredients back to the wet. So we're going to go ahead and dump that in completely. And if you have a large enough bowl, you shouldn't have any trouble of putting it all into one. And then we're going to use the mixer on a low speed to mix this together. And the whole idea is to take all that dry and work it into the wet. And it's going to start looking fudgy in the middle, and that's what you're going for. So just keep mixing it until you get that fudgy brown look, and then pull in everything from the sides. And you have to stop for a second and scrape the sides. That's perfectly fine. Just keep going after that with the mixer once you get it all pulled down. So go ahead and mix it through. This is going to take a few minutes to do, just because of the fact there is so much there to mix through. But as you can see, mine is starting to try to turn to the fudgy center. Now if you haven't already done this, you need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees because these cook for 12 minutes. Once we get this completely put together here and everything is mixed through and all of your cookie base is done, then we're going to need large baking pans, which I line mine with parchment paper because it's easier to clean up. And then you're going to take like a medium sized cookie scoop and just scoop this over, drop it down, And you're going to try and round them up once you get them on here. And basically, we're not going for enormous cookies. These will spread out a little as they cook. So once they're on there, we're going to push the center down a bit and then try to make them round. And we're going to go through and do this for all the cookies that we have that are going to go into the oven. So once you get your first couple done, just roll through and get them all finished. And then you'll have a lot of these to do. And once they're ready, they can go into the oven for the 12 minutes. And when they come back, they'll look something like this. And I moved all of mine onto one pan so I could work with them a little bit easier after they cooled. But they do need to cool before you put the topping on. So next, you are going to have 3/4 cup of chocolate morsels or bits of chocolate you want to melt down. Then you need 1/4 cup of heavy cream and your candy topping. What you're going to do with the heavy cream is heat it in the microwave for about 45 seconds until it gets really frothy. Then bring it over and pour it over the chocolate. Make sure the chocolate is underneath the line of the cream and let it sit for 2 minutes. And it's going to melt the chocolate. This is how we're making ganache. And after 2 minutes, go ahead and stir it up. And it's going to take about a minute of stirring. But as you go, it's actually going to turn into your ganache topping. And the heated heavy cream is enough to actually melt your chocolate down. And as you can see, mine is already turning. So just keep on stirring it until you get a really smooth consistency. And then once you get it completely mixed through, you're going to bring your cookies in and we're going to actually put some of this on top. So take your cookie, take a spoonful of this stuff, put it on top, smear it around. It will probably run off the sides a little bit. That's perfectly fine. It's still edible. And then you're going to put some of your candies on top, which you can use like mini M&Ms, regular M&Ms. I had Reese's Pieces and they had a great taste for this. And once they're on top, you just set these until the ganache sets up. You can put it in the fridge if you want. That will help it. And then they're going to be done after that. That's basically all you're doing. But these have really sweet, great taste to them, especially when they have the candy and the ganache on top. And that's just it right there. And these are wonderful if you just need something for a snack or you're trying to have some for a party or to give to someone. They're a great treat. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, check out my cookbooks, which are available in bookstores worldwide. The first is about everyday cooking. The second is all about baking. Have a great day.